You don't need fancy lines or a smooth-talking tongue to attract a woman. In fact, the strongest kind of attraction happens before you even open your mouth. A man's presence, energy, and behavior can speak louder than any words ever could. If you understand this, you start to see the game from a whole different level. Women are wired to pick up on the unspoken. They notice how you carry yourself, how you walk into a room, how you look at them, how you respond to silence, pressure, or even to yourself. That's where real power lies, in the quiet confidence, the grounded energy, the unshakable composure. When a man moves with purpose, stands like he owns his world, and doesn't need to prove himself, that's when women feel the pull. It's primal, it's subconscious, it's real. Most guys are too busy trying to impress with words. But the man who doesn't have to say much, he forces a woman to wonder. He builds tension without trying. He stays mysterious without even planning it. That's the kind of presence that makes her pay attention, lean in, and chase. In this video, I'll walk you through 4 powerful ways to attract women without saying a single word. These aren't tricks or pickup artist gimmicks. These are habits, mindsets, and subtle moves that speak volumes. They work today, in real life, in person, on the street, in the gym, in everyday moments. You'll learn how to shift your energy, own your space, and radiate something she feels before she hears it. This is modern dating on a deeper level. No overthinking, no begging for attention, just power in silence, and letting your presence speak first. Let's get into it. 1. Own the room with your body language. Before a woman hears your voice, she sees you, and what she sees tells her everything she needs to know about who you are. Most men underestimate this. They walk into a room with slouched shoulders, distracted eyes, nervous hands, or rushed movements. That's not attractive. That's anxious energy. A woman wants to feel the presence of a man who's in control of himself, someone who moves like he belongs, even if he just got there. Body language is your first and most powerful statement. When you walk into a room, your pace matters. A man who moves slowly and intentionally doesn't just look confident. He feels like a leader. He's not in a hurry. He's not seeking attention. But people notice him anyway. Women notice him. His head is up, his spine is straight, his chest is open. He's not folding into himself. He's expanded, relaxed, comfortable in his own skin. Eye contact is another powerful move, and you don't even need to say a word. A calm, steady glance that holds just a moment longer than usual creates tension. It makes a woman think. She wonders why you're looking at her like that. She feels something stirring without even understanding why. But here's the key. It can't be forced. Your eyes have to say, "I see you," not "I need you." There's a difference. One comes from a place of power. The other reeks of desperation. She can tell. Your posture, your walk, your stance. These are tools of quiet attraction. Sit like a man who's comfortable anywhere. Lean back. Keep your hands relaxed. Take up space without apology. Don't shrink yourself to be polite. Don't fidget. Don't look around like you're lost. A grounded man feels like a center of gravity. She notices that. She feels drawn in. Even in silence, body language speaks truth. You can fake a smile or pretend to laugh, but your posture, eyes, shoulders, and hands don't lie. If you're nervous, it shows. If you're unsure of yourself, it shows. If you're seeking validation, it shows. But when you drop all of that and just be, something shifts. You radiate calm dominance. You signal control. You attract. Most guys think women are looking for perfect lines or impressive conversation. What they miss is that women are already judging before the first word. They've scanned your body language. They've read your energy. They've felt your vibe. And if it's strong, calm, and sure of itself, she's hooked. You don't need to speak. You just need to show up like a man who respects himself. And that alone speaks louder than anything you could ever say. 2. Master the power of stillness. There's something magnetic about a man who isn't in a rush. A man who knows how to be still, how to stay calm in any room, any environment, any situation. He doesn't feel the need to fill every silence or make a move just to prove he's alive. Stillness is one of the rarest traits in the modern man, and that's exactly why it commands attention, especially from women. Women are constantly surrounded by noise, social media noise, emotional noise, men trying too hard, talking too much, pushing too fast. When a man can stand still, relaxed, with no urgency in his body and no anxiety in his eyes, it's a shock to her system. It's different. It makes her pay attention. It makes her want to know more. Why? Because stillness shows you're not chasing anything. You're not bothered. You're not overwhelmed. You're grounded. A still man feels dangerous in the best way. Not reckless, not aggressive, but unreadable. That unreadability builds attraction. When a woman can't figure out your next move, she becomes intrigued. She starts leaning in, wondering what's behind your calm. And the best part? You don't have to perform. You just stay present. That presence, that unbothered calm, creates tension that most men will never understand. Stillness isn't about freezing. It's about control. It's the way you can sit in a room and scan it slowly without looking like you're lost. It's the way you let others move around you while you remain centered. It's the way you can hold eye contact for just a second longer without blinking or flinching. It's the way you don't rush your movements, your reactions, or your attention. You're never trying to impress. You're never trying to entertain. You're just there, and your energy holds weight. There's confidence in not needing to act. There's strength in restraint. When you don't immediately smile, laugh, or speak to make someone else feel comfortable, it sends a message. It says, I don't need to be approved of right now. And that message is attractive. It separates you from men who fold under pressure, who can't sit with silence, who jump to fill every second with words. Women are emotional creatures. They feel everything. When you're still, they feel your energy more clearly. If your energy is needy, they'll pick it up immediately. But if your energy is steady, if you're calm, present, and in control, they'll lean in without understanding why. That's what you want. That's when she begins to chase. So, practice stillness. When you're in public, pause before reacting. Walk slowly. Stop over smiling. Let silence sit. Own your space with nothing but your presence. Because the man who can stay still without fear is the one she won't forget, even if he never says a word. 3. Build a style that speaks for you. Before you open your mouth, your appearance has already spoken. What you wear, how you wear it, how well it fits, all of that communicates who you are without a single word. This isn't about being a fashion expert. It's about being intentional. A man who dresses with purpose, even in silence, communicates strength, self-awareness, and high standards. Women don't just look at what you're wearing, they feel what it says about you. The man who understands style knows that every detail matters. Your shoes, your watch, your grooming, they all send a message. A clean, well-fitted shirt says you pay attention. A sharp, subtle cologne says you understand presence. Polished shoes say you respect where you're going. A neat beard or a fresh haircut says you're not lazy. These things don't just impress women. They create attraction because they signal value, that you value yourself. That alone separates you from most men. Style isn't about trends or brand names. It's about identity. When your look is put together and fits your personality, you become more noticeable. And not just to women, to everyone. People respond differently to a man who clearly knows who he is and reflects that in how he presents himself. It creates an aura. It makes you hard to ignore. And the best part? You never had to speak. A good style also creates curiosity. A woman might not know your name, but if your presence is sharp, your grooming is tight, your outfit is clean and fitted, she'll feel drawn to you. She'll want to know your story. That's where attraction begins. Not with words, but with curiosity. And curiosity leads to attention. That's what you're after. Your style should be quiet, but confident. Simple, but striking. Nothing loud, nothing forced. Just well thought out pieces that fit your body, your vibe, and your environment. A clean white t-shirt that fits your frame well will outperform an expensive designer shirt that hangs off you wrong. It's not about what it costs. It's about how it fits and how you wear it. Even the way you roll your sleeves or wear your jacket can add a layer of quiet control. That's what women notice. The little things. And remember, the way you dress affects how you feel. When you look like a man who has his act together, you start to feel it. Your back straightens, your voice deepens, your presence sharpens. You show up with a different energy. That shift is powerful, and women feel it without needing you to say anything. They see a man who's put together, and that makes them want to get closer. So, take your style seriously. It's not about being flashy. It's about being deliberate. When your look reflects strength, control, and respect for yourself, you don't have to talk. She'll see it, she'll feel it, and she'll remember it. 4. Let your silence carry mystery. A man who doesn't rush to speak, who doesn't always explain himself, who isn't eager to fill every gap with chatter, that man creates mystery. And mystery is magnetic. In a world where everyone is trying to be seen, trying to be understood, trying to prove their worth through constant talking, a man who knows the power of silence becomes unforgettable. Silence isn't awkward when it comes from a place of control. It becomes a weapon. It becomes the space where tension builds. And tension is the root of attraction. When a woman can't figure you out, she thinks about you. She analyzes your quiet moments. She replays your calm expressions in her head. Why? Because you didn't give her everything. You didn't reveal it all. You gave her just enough to wonder. When you speak only when necessary and allow silence to breathe between interactions, you shift the dynamic. You don't chase. You don't overexpress. You don't try to impress. You simply exist and let her come to you. This doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means you don't need to overshare. You don't explain every move. You let your energy speak, and that makes her want to know more. Curiosity becomes desire. A mysterious man never looks like he's trying to be mysterious. He's just comfortable holding things back. His eyes may give off emotion, but his words don't overexpose him. He may smile, but he doesn't explain the meaning behind it. He may show interest, but he never over-pursues. This restraint builds a slow fire inside a woman, and it burns deeper than any compliment or flirty text ever could. You see, women are not attracted to predictability. They don't want to know your entire life story in the first 10 minutes. They want to feel something they can't explain. They want to sense that there's more to you than what they see. And when you leave space for silence, you leave space for imagination. And her imagination will often create a version of you that's even more intriguing than reality. That's power. Mystery also shows discipline. Most men speak to impress. They reveal everything. They laugh too quickly. They explain too much. But a man who has control over his words has control over his presence. He knows that the less he says, the more weight each word carries. And when he finally speaks, people listen. That's what separates him from every other guy trying to be heard. So let your silence do the work. Don't fear the quiet moments. Don't rush to fill them. Let her feel your presence without you saying a word. Let her wonder. Let her guess. Let her become intrigued by what you're not saying. That mystery, that space you leave open, is where attraction begins to build. And once it starts, you won't need to chase it. She'll come looking for you. 5. Command the room with body language. Before you ever say a word, your body already told the world who you are. Your posture, your movements, your facial expressions, they're all sending signals, whether you know it or not. And when you learn to control those signals, you control the way people, especially women, respond to you. Confidence isn't something you have to speak. If you own your space physically, you don't have to talk. They feel you. A man who commands the room doesn't fidget. He doesn't make nervous movements. His gestures are slow and controlled. His walk is deliberate. His back is straight. His chest is open. His eyes scan without rushing. He doesn't lean too far forward when he's interested. He doesn't shrink when he's uncomfortable. He stands like he belongs, like he knows his value and doesn't need anyone's permission to take up space. That kind of presence is hard to ignore. It demands attention without begging for it. Women notice posture. They notice tension. They notice eye contact. When a man walks into a room and his eyes don't dart nervously, when his shoulders are relaxed but firm, when his head is held high and his feet move with purpose, they feel drawn to that energy. It says strength without aggression. It says confidence without arrogance. It says, I'm in control of me. And it's not just about standing tall or walking smooth. It's how you sit. Are you collapsed inward, trying to be small? Or are you relaxed, yet alert, as if nothing around you is overwhelming? It's how you use your hands. Are they flying around trying to prove a point? Or are they calm, resting, intentional? Your body should always reflect composure. That stillness, that control, it's what builds intrigue. Eye contact is another powerful piece. Most men either avoid it or overdo it. But when you get it right, when you hold eye contact just long enough to connect but not long enough to invade, you create intensity. And when you break that eye contact calmly, like you're not in a rush, like you're not shaken, that says everything. It shows emotional control. It shows confidence in silence. A subtle smirk, the right amount of space between you and others, not flinching when you're spoken to, not shifting nervously when attention is on you. All of these things speak louder than words. Women are wired to pick up on micro behaviors. They feel your presence before they even process it. And when your body speaks confidence, calm, and power, they notice, even if they don't realize it right away. So, take control of your body language. Practice being still in social situations. Practice walking slowly, holding eye contact, and not fidgeting under pressure. When you learn to move with calm power, you don't have to chase attention. It finds you. She'll feel your energy before she even hears your voice. That's how you win the room, without saying a single word. 6. Master the art of presence. Presence isn't something you wear. It's not something you buy. It's something you become. And when you truly have it, people notice, especially women. Presence is the energy you bring into a space. It's the quiet intensity that makes others pause when you enter the room. It's what separates a man who's just there from a man who is felt the moment he walks in. A man with presence doesn't need to be loud. He doesn't even need to smile all the time. He doesn't need to work the room or seek validation. He stands, sits, and moves like someone who is completely at home in his skin. He's aware of what's happening around him, but he's not looking around for approval. He brings calm into the space. He doesn't let the environment dictate his energy. He is the energy. This level of control can't be faked. It's something that starts inside, in how you view yourself. When you know what you stand for, what you accept, and what you won't tolerate, you move differently. You don't feel the need to explain yourself. You're not performing for anyone. You're simply showing up as you are, and that quiet certainty radiates. Women feel that. A man who masters presence also listens differently. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't wait to speak. He gives full attention without trying to control the conversation. And when he responds, he speaks with purpose. But here's the key. He doesn't always have to respond. Sometimes he just observes. Sometimes he lets others talk while he watches and learns. That level of self-control creates weight. It shows depth. And women are drawn to depth like moths to a flame. Your presence also shows in your emotional discipline. You don't flinch at discomfort. You don't react impulsively. If someone tries to provoke you, you don't escalate. You hold the moment. You look them in the eye. You stay rooted. That kind of restraint is rare. And rare is attractive. Women don't just want a man who's charming. They want a man who can hold it together when things go sideways. A man who's grounded. Being present also means you're not distracted. You're not constantly on your phone. You're not scanning the room to see who's watching you. When you talk to someone, your focus is on them. That intensity, that full attention, makes a woman feel seen. And when a woman feels seen, she becomes interested. Even if you haven't said much, even if your words are few, she remembers the way you made her feel. So, develop that presence. Learn to slow down. Breathe deeply. Stand still. Own your silence. Don't fill every gap with noise. Become so grounded in who you are that nothing shakes you. That kind of presence changes how people treat you. And for a woman, it creates a sense of mystery, confidence, and emotional power. All without you ever needing to say a word. 7. Make her feel seen without talking. There's a quiet kind of power in a man who can make a woman feel noticed, desired, and understood, without ever opening his mouth. Most guys think attraction comes from clever words, pick-up lines, or charming stories. But the truth is, some of the strongest connections are created in silence. And the men who know how to use their energy, their attention, and their subtle cues to make a woman feel special, those are the men she can't forget. When you make a woman feel seen, it's not just about looking at her, it's how you look at her. It's the calm, steady eye contact that lingers a moment longer than usual. It's not aggressive or hungry. It's not scanning her like a trophy. It's a look that says, I see you, and I like what I see. That kind of attention hits deeper than a compliment ever could. And when you can give her that feeling without saying a word, you become different from every other man she's dealt with. She notices the way your eyes follow her when she walks in the room, the way your head slightly tilts when you observe her, the way your body turns just enough to show she has your focus. These things speak louder than words when done right, and they say something powerful. I'm here, and you have my full attention. Not in a needy or desperate way, but in a composed, confident way that's rare to find. You don't have to smile every time she looks your way. Sometimes the slightest smirk, or just holding that eye contact, creates more impact. A man who isn't trying to impress her, but still notices everything about her. How she moves, how she reacts, how she shifts her energy. That man makes her feel something real. He isn't reacting like every other guy. He's observing, and she can feel that observation. It creates tension, it creates spark. You also make her feel seen through your energy. When you're calm, grounded, and sure of yourself, you radiate a kind of emotional safety that women pick up on fast. Without saying anything, you tell her you're stable. You're not easily moved. You're not flustered by her beauty. And that, in itself, is attractive. It makes her feel like she doesn't have to perform to get your attention. She can just be herself. That's rare. That's what sticks in her memory. Even when she's speaking, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just listen. Nod once. Keep eye contact. Hold that stillness. Don't interrupt. Don't try to relate too quickly. Let her talk. Let her feel heard. Because when a woman feels truly seen and heard by a man who says very little, she doesn't just feel attracted. She feels connected. And connection is what keeps her thinking about you long after the moment ends. Master this, and you won't need to chase. She'll come looking for you. You don't need loud words, flashy clothes, or non-stop talking to attract women. The strongest kind of attraction often happens in silence. It's in your posture, your presence, your eye contact, and your ability to make her feel something without trying too hard. When you carry yourself like a man who knows who he is, who listens more than he speaks, and who communicates value without showing off, that's magnetic. Women feel it. They remember it. So start showing up differently. Speak less, observe more, and let your energy do the talking. That's how you win, without saying a word.